All right, folks. I am so excited for today. I really, truly am. I can't wait to dive into what we've got going for today. How is everyone? Good morning. I hope everyone is having an excellent morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you folks are based at. My name is VooDoo Val, and I'm going to be your instructor today for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And I'm actually really, like I said, I'm excited about today, but for reasons that I don't know that I've ever been super pumped about before. Today we're going to be diving into a brand new challenge, and it's one that oddly I have been like waiting for like this whole time. This is a challenge today that's going to be based on taking a pattern and applying it to furniture. This is a community submission that was requested because somebody really wanted to know how to take a pattern and then look like you had applied it to a couch or a chair or something like that. And I had so much fun putting this together. So I'm gonna dive into where you folks can get more information on the challenges and all that good stuff. And then I am going to show you the super cool images that I have picked out for you folks today to use, all right? Few days behind from technical issues. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Space Kitten. It is really good to see you here, though. Also, May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you, y'all. We are not going to get off the stream today without me talking about Star Wars at least once, and I feel like it's warranted. I feel like it's fair today. It's the only day that I can actually say I have a reason to talk about Star Wars so much on the Star Wars non-related stream. All right, I'm gonna pop over here to the landing page for the challenge. This is behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. This is where you will need to go for all of the information surrounding the challenges. We are working in the April 26th to May 21st segment right now, and if you don't see that time frame and you're looking to do the challenge from this video, all you have to do is come down here, check out these dates, and look for the April to May time frame, and you will find all of the previous starter files and all those good things that you will need in order to actually do the project. We have 6 different challenges that we've done so far: shapes and gradients, perspective transform, the glow effect, custom textures. Yesterday we made a floral backdrop, which we are going to be returning to again, just so everybody knows, because I know some folks were kind of wondering, like, you know, we did the floral backdrop, but I had promised more details. It is because there is another challenge that is dedicated to using those patterns and turning it into an even better kind of backdrop with more uses, so we will be coming back to that. But today we're going to take those patterns that we created yesterday and we are going to apply it to custom objects such as furniture, like I said, using displacement maps and creating probably one of the most detailed mock-up type files that I've ever done on a challenge stream, which is why we do have to kind of move it along to make sure I have enough time to do this. So if you are over on the YouTube channel, please come over to behance.net/live, because that is where I'm going to be reading the chat this morning. And if you also would, please head to this landing page and join the Discord too. You can join the Discord at bit.ly/ps_discord, and that's really important because it is where everyone is posting all of their challenge entries, which is super cool. I'm gonna pop that up real quick just to show you some of the super neat intros, or excuse me, the super neat pieces that we got from people. Katya has already come in and done like interior design applying textures, as has HJ. These are so cool. So people have already come in here and like started applying textures to things. This is neat. Statlin actually used the floral backdrop to like create a dreamland, which is really cool. It used a texture to blend it, and I just thought that was really neat, very creative and super different. We got this one from Katya for challenge number 4. This is super neat because this looks like such like this looks like a real item. Like you kind of took this goblet a whole new direction, and it looks so much different than the one that I put into the starter file, which means you really went all out. So these are all just really, really great. I noticed that a lot of people are putting the pattern behind the couch. So all of you folks who posted a wonderful interior design kind of image with the pattern, you should jump in and do this again, because we're gonna put it on the couch this time, and I'm really pumped about it. So let's jump into it, shall we? Let me page this down. So this is the challenge number 6 starter file. It says apply a custom pattern to objects such as furniture or clothing with displacement maps. We have a couch scene and couch styles. So I'm going to show you the images that I have prepared for you folks today, okay? This is the couch scene that I have snagged for you, and it's really cool. It's just a scene that you could easily transform into a mock-up of sorts, and you can easily, you know, kind of do with a displacement map. And then I also, just in case you don't like this photo, you could go to Adobe Stock Free, which all of these images I've selected for you are free, so you can download and license them without paying. There's no charge. You can go get a image from Adobe Stock that's just a blank scene, like a room like this without the couch in it, and then you could probably cut some of these out and throw these in there. So I've got some different styles of couches for you folks to use, and I am gonna just drag this over here, and I'm gonna convert this to a smart object, and I am going to size this up, and I'm just gonna work with the image of this gray couch right here. This is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna do the fancy scene because I wanna make sure I have enough time to get through every single aspect of this challenge, because I know that I did get cut off yesterday and I don't wanna do that again. Okay, so this is the couch we're gonna work with. We're gonna make a displacement map for this. We're gonna take custom patterns that we have created, and we're gonna throw those patterns onto here. And it's actually really easy to do this. It's just depending on the detail of your item, it may be a little bit tedious. So this is what we're gonna do. I am going to come in here and make my displacement map. So what is a displacement map? Basically, in order to create a displacement map, what I'm gonna need to do is create a version of this, this image that is, how do I explain it? We're going to go into levels, and we're going to, after we create like a black and white version, we're going to hit those levels in a way that really seriously contrasts dark from light, and then we're going to blur it, because the dark and the light areas in this photo are going to tell Photoshop when they should and shouldn't warp an image around the surface of something, basically. So we're gonna create a guideline that's gonna, in a way, tell Photoshop that I want to wrap something around the image in a way that makes it look as if I'm wrapping something in 3D space. So I am going to go ahead and just delete this, so I just have this image right here. I am going to, because it's a smart object, I can throw a filter on it real quick, and I am going to go to Image Adjustments and Black and White, just to make this black and white, okay. And then I'm gonna say Control or Command, if you're on the Mac, L, to pull up my levels, and I'm gonna crank these up in a way. I'm gonna, over here on the right side is highlights, over here on the left side is shadows, and then these are midtones here. And I am going to try my best to make this dramatic, you know, like just kind of like making it visible, but in a way where, you know, I can still like see things. There we go. That looks actually pretty good. Another thing, am I gonna do anything else with this? I don't think so. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is save this as its own file. So I'm gonna go Control-Shift-S. To save, it'll pull up this little panel that asks me if I want to save this to cloud documents or save on my computer. I'm going to save it on my computer, and I'm going to save it in my DCC folder, just so that I, you know, have it all in a great place. Let me navigate to DCCs, and I'm going to call this Couch Displacement. I just spelled couch and displacement wrong. Couch Disp That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm saving it as a Photoshop PSD. I'm not saving it as a PNG. I'm not saving it as a JPEG. I'm not saving it as a TIFF file. I'm not saving it as a PDF. I'm saving it as a PNG, okay? There we go. So now I have this image of this that is black and white, and I'm now gonna just unhide all of that stuff because I don't need that for this. One of the things that I can do if I want is I can now create a color layer for this couch because maybe I'd like to be able to change the color once I get my patterns in here. So I am gonna, with my object selection tool, which I have right-clicked over here, you may see a quick selection tool or a magic wand tool when you press W on your keyboard. If that is true, all you have to do is right-click that tool and you will be able to select that from the drop-down menu. I am going to just drag this out like so. I just want to select very easily this little part. I'm going to come up here with my rectangular marquee and see if I can't clean this up. Oh, oops. I want to clean this up just a little bit. If I can I do that? Sort of. I'm going to come in with a lasso, I think. I'm gonna hold Alt and just kind of go like that, just to kind of move that just a little bit, make it a little cleaner. Okay, so I've selected the couch part, and what I've said, as I mentioned, what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to duplicate that just so I have only the couch part, and what I'm gonna do is come up here to this little circle down at the bottom here. Looks like a circle with like a slice in it. I'm gonna click on that and I'm gonna go to photo filter. And photo filter is gonna allow me to snag a color and start applying it here. I'm gonna put on that cyan and pump that up. And you'll notice that it's also changing the color of my shadow here. That is because it is not yet placed on a clipping mask. So I'm gonna go right here. I could do create clipping mask and it'll clip to that part of the couch I duplicated. Or what I could do, and this is probably maybe a little bit better, is I could get rid of this part of the couch I duplicated after, you know what, I'm gonna do it after because I'm gonna use this as a selection. I will hold Control and I will click this icon here to select it, and then I will click on my photo filter and then click the masking thing here. Actually, it did not mask like I thought it would, but that's okay because I can grab my paint bucket tool and grab my black, and I am going to, actually I'm gonna grab a selection tool, select inverse, and then use my paint bucket tool to mask that out. I feel like yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I can get rid of this. Let me deselect, Control D, and delete that. So now I have this photo filter that is masked, and if I want to, I can double click this and I can come in here and change that color right here just by clicking on it. I can change whatever color I want and warp that. I'm actually going to try to change it to like a pink color today because I think that would be cool. And with the photo filter, it still looks really good and like kind of natural. So it's not like I just paint bucketed a bucket of color on here. Like, it looks fairly normal, which is like one of the main points of this. So now I have a displacement map made, I have a color applied to my couch, and now I'm going to actually apply a pattern to this. Now, in the starter file, you folks will notice that I put a pattern in here. This is a pattern from a new branding project of mine that I started doing. These are my new brand colors, and I haven't really used a lot of this branding yet, but I wanted to include a cool pattern, like a secondary pattern for you folks, just in case you did not like my floral print, like floral wasn't your thing, or maybe you didn't finish or do yesterday's challenge to have a floral print of your own. So you will notice in this little folder you have the VooDoo pattern, And you also have this floral collage, which is totally cool. You can use whatever you want, or you can find your own pattern online if you would prefer. I'm going to use the VooDoo pattern because I'm biased about it, because I think the VooDoo pattern is super cool. It's got all my favorite colors in it, so I'm gonna use this over here. And the way that we're gonna do that is like this. So I'm gonna drag this over to our file. I also have noticed that we're actually working on the file that is the couch displacement. So really quick, what I'm gonna do is Control-Shift-S to save as, and I'm gonna save this as a different file, and I'm going to tell you why. I just noticed this, and it's actually really important. So when you use a displacement map, you don't want to be applying the displacement map that we made when it's your same file. And you also want to make sure that your displacement map doesn't have a bunch of other layers on it. So let me really quick open the displacement map. And hopefully I did not, okay, cool. So it's just this layer right now. It is not all the other stuff in there. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna close that. And I'll show you why that's important. I'm about to throw this on here. I guess I actually don't need to bring the pattern in here because this pattern is actually, should be, oh, there's one, yeah, one of the patterns here in my presets. If you would like to add, real quick, if you'd like to add one of these patterns I have supplied to you to your patterns presets, this is all you have to do. Let me show you this real quick. So I'm gonna grab with Control or Command T this pattern that I've left here for you. I'm going to move this up until my guides line it up. If you don't see your guides when you start moving stuff around, it's probably because you have them turned off. If you'd like to quickly turn them back on, all you have to do is press Control or Command H and your guides will disappear or reappear. And then now that I have it centered, I am from the corner here going to hold Alt so that I resize this piece from all edges, and I am going to simply drag that to the very corners of this thing here. I think I'm gonna drag it just slightly farther, not by much. Boom, that should be good. And then I'm going to hide all this, and I can Control or Command A to select my entire canvas, and then I can come to Edit, Define Pattern. We'll call this Styrofoam 6. And then from here, I can literally, if I hide this, I can just drag and drop that, and I can double click here, and I can scale it down, you know, whatever I want to do. And it's a repeating pattern. I can change the angle. We kind of went through a little bit of this yesterday, but I know that I was kind of rushing at the end, so I want to make sure that I talked about it. But yeah, you can change the angle, you can change all sorts of things, but this is really cool. You can also snap it to the origin spot if you want, and that's pretty easy generally to use. So that is how you can add it to yourself. Now I only have a few minutes left here, so I'm gonna quickly start throwing in the pattern to this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start selecting the points of this couch. Now I chose this couch because this is a fairly easy couch to use. It might look like it's fancy because of the shapes and stuff, but if you use the object selection tool to select the points in this couch that we need to use for the displacement map, it's super quick. All you have to do is drag your object selection toolbox around the upper couch. In fact, I've already got this mask, so I could actually just, you know, click that. Let me create a new layer. I'm going to create a new layer above here. Control-Shift-N or Command-Shift-N, and I am going to make a mask. And then I am going to, or actually, I'm gonna drag the oh, huh. I just learned something new, that you could make a selection and drag the pattern only into that selection. That's actually what we're gonna do. I suppose you may want to do a mask with it too. You're more than welcome to do a mask, but I could just click this and throw it in like that if I wanted. That's actually pretty quick and easy. I wonder how that looks Oh, you know what? It might actually be clipping it immediately to this. It's not dragging into the selection. Okay, never mind. I am going to then still select. I'm gonna deselect. I'm gonna make a new layer. I'll drag this into a layer. Can I do that without? Let me hide that layer. There we go. Okay, it was kind of doing its own thing because I was dragging just above this mask, which is not great. So then I will select this, and then I will click on this mask, and I am going to select inverse. I'm going to paint, oh, not select inverse. I want to mask this only. Can I do that? Nope. I do need to do select inverse. I sometimes get a little confused whenever I'm doing these. Like, do I need to select around my space or select my actual space and in order to get the effect I'm going for? I'm sure you folks have that issue too sometimes. But there we go. Okay, now I have my little bit there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is grab my object selection tool, Control D or Command D to deselect, and I'm going to come in here to this actual couch layer, and I'm just going to zoom in and drag a box around the cushion, okay? Because I want the cushion itself. That's what I'm going to mask. So let's hide this. Go ahead and drag in another pattern. I'm going to drag this up here and grab our cushion like so, and then we are going to select inverse, which selects, instead of selecting the cushion, it selects everything but the cushion, and we're going to mask that. Boom. So now I have my cushion, I have my main couch that I wanted, and I have my color here, and then we're going to apply displacement map to both of these layers. So let me hide this. I'm going to select this pattern fill 1, that's my main couch, and I am going to go to filter, distort, displace. We can convert this to smart object, sure. And I'm going to say okay on this. I'm going to navigate to my couch displacement, say open, and it is going to displace it around. Okay, so it has displaced it, but this is not on a blending mode. So as you can see, it actually made all these jagged and kind of warped them around the shape, but it doesn't look that great now because I don't have it on a blending mode. So let's throw it on a blending mode. I'm thinking that screen may work. Let's see. Color dodge. Ah! Soft light, honestly, probably is better. I'm gonna go with soft light, I think, and crank this down just slightly, I think. Let me do that. Now, one of the things I'm noticing here towards the end of the stream is that I don't have the pattern masked so that the cushion is gone from it, and that seems to look a little strange. It takes away from the 3D warping effect, like it's pulled this up and around and all that. And I also don't think it's displaced enough. So I'm gonna actually double click that displacement. Let me see, I'm just gonna actually add another displacement on it because I think that needs to be a little more. So distort, displace. Let's do like 50. This might be weird, but yeah, let's do the couch displacement, open. It kind of works, but it adds a lot of the texture. So one of the things that you can do in order to fix this is that displacement map. If we open, let me open this displacement map in the last final moments here. If I open that couch displacement, let's see. I'm going to come back into the levels. I'm gonna make this even more dramatic, like super dramatic, okay? Like that. I'm gonna say all right, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select, can I click and select? No, let me go back. And I am going to go up to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur because I want the colors there, the contrast in colors, but I don't like how sharp it is. So I'm gonna blur it with a Gaussian blur a little bit. I think that'll work. We'll say okay, and then I am going to Control S to save. And then I'm going to apply the displacement map. And I do have to take off here. I'm noticing that I am coming to the end here, so maybe I can post a little bit more as I finish this up directly after the stream, because I don't want to get cut off again. This is kind of a hefty one, but let's see if we can do this displacement really quick. Convert that to smart object, say okay, grab our couch displacement, and then throw that. It still needs a little bit of work, but you can see how you can come in and you can start to displace a texture around a couch or around any sort of item. I'm gonna kind of tweak and kind of make this look a little bit softer, and then start adding it to my cushion as well. And then I will post what my findings and how I progressed in the Discord. But that is all the time I have for you, because if I stay on any longer, I will get cut off. But thank you folks so much for watching today. I hope that you have enjoyed this and learned a little bit of stuff, and I am good to go. Bye.